How to Improve Absolutely Anything by Katie Labedz. Chapter 9. Even Wonder Woman has a weakness. SWOT analysis. If you're currently employed, then you have the pleasure of analyzing your strengths and weaknesses every year during the annual review process. Let's be honest, it's hard to think about how much you suck, and it's even harder to reframe that as more of an opportunity than an actual weakness. If you aren't currently involved in the fun of the annual review process, I would still bet you have someone in your life willing to help you identify your weaknesses. That helpful voice may be your inner critic. There is a tool that we can use to balance this all out and put things into perspective. Whether you're looking at our personal skill set or one of our processes, we can use a tool called a SWOT analysis, SWOT. SWOT falls into the visual management category, so this tool appeals to those of us who like to see things on paper, either physically or virtually. What's your preferred learning style? Visual learners learn by watching or seeing. Auditory learners learn by listening. Kinesthetic learners learn by working on it with their hands. Most of us are a mixture of learning styles, and we usually lean towards the visual side of things. Ever since I was a young person learning how to drive using navigational directions, turning east on Maple and west on Clayus have meant very little to me. Then and today, my version of direction sounds like I'll turn right at the green building and left at the red barn. If you try to tell me to go east, I'll have absolutely no idea which direction you're talking about. I'm not directionally challenged, but I work off landmarks and unique identifiers. I am a visual learner, and SWOT works well for people like me. SWOT stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Strengths. Strengths are things that you do really well, such as the skills that you brag about and the talents you are most proud of. They are also the details that give you a competitive edge, a one-of-a-kind offering, or what your customer likes the most about your product. This is what keeps them coming back for more. Another way to approach a strength is to consider how you are unique and what others view as your strengths. Personal strengths might include, I'm creative. I'm a certified teacher. I reached my goal weight. Business strengths might include, we have a 99% on-time delivery. We are operating at a 6 Sigma level of quality. We have a 5-star rating. Reflecting on these items should offer a sense of pride for yourself and your team. Begin by listing these in the strengths box. Weakness. Weaknesses are gaps in your skill set, areas where you don't perform well, and zones where you can improve, or where your customer believes you can improve. It's your kryptonite. It reflects a particular area where you could really utilize more resources, like more tellers working in a bank, a full-time receptionist in your office, or a virtual assistant to manage your email and messenger responses. You need to be realistic for this section. The pendulum usually swings one way or the other. Either people are overly realistic about their weakness or they're not. In my career, I've had only one annual review where somebody listed their weaknesses as quote unquote none. I seriously almost fell out of my chair when I saw that. I considered penciling in the space arrogance and ignorance. You and your processes have weaknesses. Be realistic, acknowledge them, write them down, and move on. Opportunities. We don't have problems, we have opportunities for greatness. Opportunities are trends that we could take advantage of. Certifications your team could obtain to raise their knowledge, and even job opportunities like shadowing or internships. Personal opportunities could take include taking an online fitness class during your lunch break to help you reach your health goal, reading a highly recommended book on budgeting, or joining a LinkedIn group of people with similar interests. Professional opportunities might include looking into new technology that makes it easier for people to work remotely, improving your website's processes based on customer feedback to make checkout smoother, like accepting Amazon Pay, or joining the local small business association as a learning and networking opportunity. Threats. Threats sound ominous, doesn't it? Threats are anything that can harm you, your company, your innovations, your IP. A threat is the Joker to your Batman. Threats can include details like a change in your work schedule from first shift to third shift that interferes with your ability to continue your education or childcare. Perhaps a sudden unprecedented demand for your online tool could be a threat if you don't have the capacity to meet the demand. A threat can also be a health concern. If you're struggling to keep a health condition under control, it can become a threat to your well-being, your ability to work, and your family. Finally, check out your competition. Worthy rivals are always a threat. Wow, that's a lot to consider. Completing a SWOT analysis can be a bit of an emotional journey, but it's not a bad thing. Get it all down on paper and be realistic in each category, and then you can start to digest it. Please note that SWOT is not a life evaluation tool. Don't create a SWOT to analyze everything that's wrong with you and how your partner irritates you or the wicked behavior of your parents. Don't create a SWOT to evaluate a person or a relationship. Create a SWOT with a cross-functional team for your company's quoting process. Create a SWOT for accepting a new patient into your medical practice. Even create a SWOT when you want to analyze your ability to finish your college degree or obtain a professional certification. The intention is to acknowledge what is currently happening, to take your blinders off and discover the factors that could impact you now and in the future, and determine an informed action plan to move forward. Don't let your weaknesses consume all of your attention. Acknowledge each section of the SWOT analysis and move on. Don't try to boil the ocean. You're not going to solve all of your weaknesses in a week, a day, or a month. You're certainly not going to be able to fend off all of your threats with one mighty swing of your magic lasso. Remember, Wonder Woman had one. Let's take a look at a SWOT example for someone that wants to go back to school to get their master's degree through an online program. So strengths: technologically savvy, good at communicating, familiar with the school's online platform, required courses or topics I want to learn. I'm a quick learner, and not much studying required for undergrad. Weaknesses: difficulty multitasking, waiting to the last minute to complete tasks. Maybe it's been 12 years since the last college course. Opportunities: accelerated version of the program is available, so completing in 14 months versus 2 years. The employer would pay for 100% of this degree, and the courses are completed at your own pace. And then threats: the current job role is demanding. You're already working a 50+ hour work week. You have 2 kids, and the partner is considering a new job that may require relocation. Based on this SWOT analysis, what would you do? I bet you're thinking, okay, so this person knows how to follow the rules and create a SWOT like Katie described above. Now what? Well, if it were me and this was my SWOT analysis, I'd use this graph to aid my decision-making process, and I would review each section. Look at the strengths. I would think, I know I can do this. School comes really easy to me. My coworker, Tina, recently completed the same coursework, so I've seen the materials already, and I know they utilize the same platform for courses I completed before. Therefore, I'm familiar with that as well. At this point, I feel pretty pumped. Now look at the weaknesses. Ugh. Yeah, sometimes a little scatterbrained and having too many things going on at once, I rarely finish them. I do better with one task at a time. Yes, I tend to wait to the last minute to complete things, but I'm taking a lean course at work and I picked up a few tricks that I think are going to be able to help. Yes, it's been a while since I was in college, but I've taken other courses for certifications required for my job, so I know my brain's not stale. Looking at opportunities gets me even more jazzed. An accelerated program could just be the ticket. Then it won't seem like it's drawn out forever, and the pace can motivate me to get my homework done on time. Plus, my employer will pay for all of my courses if I get an A or a B. Talk about inspiration. That will save me $50,000. I can also take these courses at my own pace, which could be a great thing for me if I don't slack off. I think I can do this, but there are a few threats to consider. My current role is a beast. I work a lot, but I also haven't voiced this to my boss, and she probably doesn't realize how much time I work outside the normal hours. I have an opportunity to explain this, and my desire to get this degree and to continue to develop my skills will benefit the company and me, let's be for real, in the long run. Now that it's been almost a year, the kids have been pretty much settled into their routine. And really, who knows if that'll continue? My partner has a potential lead for a new role that potentially could cause us to move. There's a lot of potentials and a lot of ifs. I already work from home, so if this would actually happen, I don't anticipate it being a problem for my employer. What would you conclude if you walk through the SWOT analysis this way? The conclusion seems to point to go back to school. See how the SWOT analysis assists with the heavy lifting of decision making? We use the SWOT to lay it all out, to acknowledge, to be realistic, and to think logically through the process. In my experience, there are too many weaknesses and threats that can't be overcome if you apply your strengths and leverage your opportunities. Now let's look at a SWOT for a work situation. Let's say you belong to a CPA firm that's on the cusp of a potential expansion. Your client base continues to grow year after year, and you now need to decide whether to hire an additional CPA for your firm so you can continue to grow. Your strengths are 25% of client growth over the last 2 years. So remember, you are a CPA firm that's on the cusp of a potential expansion. Another strength, you're viewed as the go-to CPA for all the members of the local Chamber of Commerce. You won the best of 2020 for CPAs in the area, and no audits for us or any customers over the last 10 years. Weaknesses. Well, we're starting to have more work than we can handle. Our previous turnaround time for personal taxes was 3 days, and now it's 14. We don't have an online presence. All paperwork has to be physically dropped off at our office or mailed to us, and we work out of our homes. Opportunities. We had an intern working for us for the past 3 years, and she's about to sit for her CPA exam. There's a prime office location available downtown, and we would get a discounted rate because they're our clients. And if we hired someone new and rebalance the workload, we can conceptually serve our current and potential new customers for the next 10 years. Threats. We'll have to start to turn people away if we don't make a decision soon and potentially ruin our reputation. It's not secure to have our clients' actual paperwork at our current office space in our house. Another big name CPA firm has moved into the area, and they have an online presence and they charge less than we do. Based on this SWOT analysis, what would you do? If the decision were mine, it wouldn't necessarily be too quick to hire a new CPA. There are a few things I would suggest first. I would investigate what changed in the process so we now require 14 days to complete a personal return. I would survey my customers to determine if they would prefer to upload their tax information into a portal rather than drop off the paperwork. I would consider the reality that sometimes technology can take the personal touch out of our relationship. I would also evaluate if working from home was really productive. Are there too many distractions? Is there enough room for workspace versus living space, or is it all combined into one? If you hire a new CPA, is your previous intern the best person for the job? Why can't you rebalance the workload now to see if you can improve results rather than just adding another person to the mix? I know sometimes this seems to be an easy way to solve the problem by just throwing people at it. What does the new CPA firm have that you don't? Besides money, they probably have more money. Does the SWOT analysis speak to you? What's going on in your life right now that could benefit from a SWOT analysis? A new job, a career change, a broken process at work? Can you create a SWOT analysis to help you make a decision? If you know your learning style and the learning styles of your team members and even your family, you can learn to communicate in the appropriate language. There are several cool tools that you can use to facilitate conversations. Grab your colored markers, extra points if you have the scented ones that smell good, and let's go.